What's up, people? It's your man Joshua Pondexter. We're live on YouTube and LinkedIn. Got a good topic for you today. Emotional intelligence, right? This is the money channel, if you will, and we want to talk about how to make money, increase your money, and that's pretty much by increasing your value to the marketplace. If you're valuable, you'll make money. If you could sharpen pencils the way that Kobe Bryant used to uh, bounce that basketball, they will come and see you sharpen pencils, right? Then maybe you make $20 million a year sharpening pencil. Doubt it. Doesn't produce a lot of value to the economy, but you get the gist. If you want to make money, increase your skills, increase your knowledge, increase your ability, increase you, because your wealth is here. One, about 4 inches there, right? Depending on how big your head is, 4 to 6 inches. That's where it's at. That's where the game is at, baby. It is in your mind, right? So, since we're talking about your mind, emotional intelligence, right? So we're aware of uh, logical intelligence, right? Those people who are well at math and science and things of that nature. That's logical intelligence. You're good in school, so you got logical intelligence. There's athletic intelligence, right? Artistic intelligence. So our society put a lot of weight and emphasis on those type of intelligence, where we've been missing the boat. The area that we're lacking and we hadn't put enough attention on is emotional intelligence, right? And so, because let's look at athletic intelligence, right? You see this guy, he comes into the league, he's a stone killer on the court. So he has no emotional intelligence. He's waving toy guns and playing with guns on the internet. No emotional intelligence. He will not be in the league very long. He is going to kill his career, right? The girl in corporate America, she's high-powered lawyer, went to the best law school, but no emotional intelligence. Just a hothead, right? You're going to destroy your career, right? Artists, right? You see them. It's that boy named Jonathan Mayers. No emotional intelligence, right? None, zero. Wonderful career on the rise. Destroyed because no emotional intelligence. So people, you're going to have to get with this emotional intelligence thing, right? And so this is the reason I decided to talk about it, because this is a buzzword. Everybody's talking about emotional intelligence. I picked up this book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, years ago, and I read it, and I took my assessments of emotional intelligence. Let's see if I can find it. And my overall score was an 80, right? I probably could have made it better, but I figure I don't want to answer all these questions as if I was perfect. Let's say maybe I got some flaws. So the 4 areas, right, of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, right? So, I thought I did pretty good, and I've been, I may need to take this exam. It's been years, maybe 4 or 5 years or more since I took the appraisal, the assessments of my emotional intelligence. But what I did find out was that in this emotional intelligence space, there's 2 components. There's the personal competence, which is includes your self-awareness and self-management. So what's self-aware? That means you are self-aware of your emotions, right? And then, in self-management, you can manage those emotions. I'm just going to give you some examples from this book, right? So let's look at happy, sad, angry, afraid, ashamed. Those are some emotions that a lot of us experience on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis, at our job, in our professions, when we're working with people. And if we don't manage these things very well, got a problem. So here's a happy person, right? They're elated, right? That's the high level of happiness. Low level is mellow, right? So if you're working with someone that's elated all the time, that person is annoying. You need to know how to manage this, right? And then someone they're just so cool, can't get nothing out of them. They're too cool for school. Got a problem, right? So there's a whole bunch of in between on that happy scale, from elated to mellow. You need to be aware of where you are, and then you need to know how to manage that, right? Sad, right? Depressed. Nobody want to be around a depressed person because they'll bring you down. That's the high, and the low is dissatisfied, right? So nobody want to be around somebody that's depressed all the time, and then somebody dissatisfied. That you don't want to be around that person too much either, because that person could really care less. Give me some feeling, give me some care, give me some concern. You are just don't care, right? Whatever, just dissatisfied. Now let's look at the angry. It's another emotion. Furious, right? Don't want to be around a person like that too much, right? And then person who's touchy, right? Those are extremes, right? The Bible says, be angry and sin not, right? Let's see. I like upset, right? That's right at the medium. So angry, I try to stay away from that, because we who know ourselves know that if we get angry, it's about to be a problem up in here. So let me just get a little upset. Afraid, right? Terrified. That's the hot. To anxious, right? Ooh, you don't want to be somebody terrified on that end and someone anxious. Get a middle ground, right? Apprehensive, right? If I'm afraid, I'm a little apprehensive, right? If I need to act, I can act, right? Ashamed, right? Someone's that's sorrowful, right? And then the end of that is silly. See those extreme bars and the extreme sliding of the scale on that emotion? No, let's be right here. If I'm ashamed, I'm gonna be apologetic, right? Thank you for not hating me. Thank you for looking over my faults, right? So that's you need to be able to be self-aware, right? And then self-management. That's the personal competency of emotional intelligence, right? Social competencies, right? So now that's all encased in me. I can function on that level here by myself at home, right? But when I go out into the society, right, I need social awareness. Now I need to be concerned about your emotions, right? Can I identify the emotions that's in you? And then can I help you manage those, right? Relationship management, right? So that's the social component where I'm looking at social awareness, relationship management. So I'm aware that, this person kind of upset with me now, right? But I don't want to lose this relationship. So I am going to say the things, do the things that could help us mend that reality. That's all social, emotional intelligence is, right? And here's the kicker, right? job success is 58% of the performance is emotional intelligence, right? Because if you're upset at work, you're not going to perform well. There's been a saying, or not a saying, but it's true because research have shown that even horses perform better when they are happy, right? So that's why you always see them getting brushed down, right? Stroked, right? So if you want to make somebody happy, stroke them a little bit, right? Touch them, pat them, so everything's gonna be all right. We still good, right? And they'll perform better, right? And here's the other kicker: if you want to make more money, uh, every point. So I'm at 80, right? I was at 80 5 years ago. Hopefully, I didn't improve. So I need to do another assessment. And so every point increase is like $1,300 in annual salary, right? So if if I go from 80 to 90, that's basically $13,000 I have added to my annual income by being emotionally intelligent, right? So here's a disclaimer. I'm a salesperson, right? I I'm not going to say self-trained, but I did a lot of reading courses, workshops, seminars, to develop the skill, right? But prior to that, I worked in technology for decades, right? And I was in a cubicle where I was with oscilloscope, microscope, circuit boards, charts, schematics, dealing primarily with stuff, not a lot of interaction with people in the majority of my day, right? So my emotional intelligence was capped, right? It was capped pretty much at being aware of myself, managing myself. I thought I was pretty good at that because I was probably pretty good at all because I excelled in my job, right? I didn't get upset and things like that. One of the reasons that I probably didn't get a lot upset because I had a mentality that I will give you a day's pay for if you give me a day's pay, I'll give you a day's work. That's it. Wasn't no emotional reality to it, good, bad, or whatever, right? So leaving that reality and then coming to a sales professional, selling financial services, assisting people with money decision, which is their most emotional decision they have to make in the world, because this is the number one causes of divorce, family breakup, everything with money, right? So I had to deal with people with this sensitive topic. So now I had to get very skillful at dealing with people because I will be with families, especially when they die, or and chopping up assets. Now people getting hot and bothered. I don't know. So we're about to have a ride up in here. We're about to have a fight about to break up. So I got to cool everybody down, right? So this is where when I got in this profession and started developing these skills, I didn't realize that I was developing emotional intelligence skills to deal with people, right? Social competence, right? Social aware. I go into a room, I got to be able to read the people, their emotions, right? Then I got to help manage that. Okay, right? I go to a networking function, all that, is an opportunity for me to practice my emotional intelligence, right? So once again, here I am with myself, right? I'm looking at the various emotions that I have, and my overall EQ score was 80. Thought that was pretty good when we look at self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management, right? So overall score was 80. And so then I looked at, I needed, the book said get an EQ manager, right? And so you can pick one in one area. So relationship management, right? I had a friend, and she keeps friends. Those people that they got friends from grade school, and they send them birthday cards, and they do that with everybody, right? It's like, wow, this person managed relationships extremely well. I need to learn from this person, right? So, excuse me. As a salesperson, I don't want to be transactional. I want to manage relationship. Yes, I'm a salesperson, and my mentor told me that if 90% of your new customers don't come from referrals, you're working too hard, right? Suffice it to say, I received 2 referrals this week. Probably once we close this business with these people, that will be enough money to take care of me for a couple of months, right? So that's the value of it. Is that valuable to get into relationship management when I used to be transactional? Boom, hit that transaction. That's it. You never see Joshua Pondexter again. Boom, 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 boom. Always looking for the next sale. But now I work on those relationships. And if you're not good at relationships, which I don't think I really was, I don't think I was horrible, but I got a mentor in that area, right? And it 13,000. No, it quadrupled that on an annual basis just by being conscious of relationship management, right? So once again, emotional intelligence. Yeah, you went to Harvard. Yeah, you went to Yale. Yeah, you went to jail, right? But when we look at Fortune 500 CEOs, right, they do have the lowest score on emotional intelligence, right? But they score very high in those other needed areas, right? They're self-aware and they know how to manage themselves. They don't need a whole bunch of social awareness. I'm a CEO. Everybody's coming into me, right? So I don't have to, finesse and I don't know, what do you call it when you ingraining people, ingratiating people to yourself, right? If you're not the CEO, you better learn how to do that. The CEO will have to do that. And then relationship management. He don't have to do a whole lot of that either, because everybody wants to be in a relationship with the CEO. So not saying that because he has a lower score that he's a bad person, she's a bad person. No, they just don't have a need to develop those 2 other social components of emotional intelligence. But trust me, when it comes to being self-aware, when it comes to managing their emotions, wow, yeah, we just lost $50 million this quarter. Woo, the CEO can't lose it, right? You got to remain calm, right? So with that said, let's give you 3 let's get the book, right? And take the assessment, take the appraisal of yourself. Emotional Intelligence 2.0, right? Travis Bradbury and Gene Graves, right? I think those are the names. International best-selling author and emotional intelligence appraisal. Take the appraisal, see where you are, because this is going to help you move the needle forward in your profession, right? In your business, in your relationships, in your community activities, all the things that you do as a person, as an individual, right? So, my young people, right? Get this book, because the fact that you grew up in the internet age and iPad age and all this stuff right here, the cell phone age, all that, your emotional intelligence is low, right? And it's not going to get you very far in life, right? You can't hang behind the screen all of your life, You got to get out, interact with people. Okay. So here are a couple of strategies to help yourself. And then the book is the book has strategies for each area: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management. So all four areas, it has, well, I think it's a total of like 96 different strategies to help you improve, right? And of course, as a salesman, right, a lot of those things we learn by practicing and dealing with people and wanting to get better so that we can make a living, so that we can make a better impact with our clients and our customers. Yeah. So we had to, I don't know, inadvertently, we learn emotional intelligence, right? So, first of all, identify your emotional state, right? If type person that fly off the handle, you can change. That's the good news, is that you can change your emotional state, right? If I'm sad, right, all you got to do is get the jumping up and down, right? If you're sad, you can change your emotional state with your physiology. Start doing some jumping jacks, some push-ups, whatever. You can change your emotional state, but you need to be aware. If I'm sad, if depressed, if all these things, because whatever's going on in my life, you can change them, right? So identify it. If I'm happy, if I'm too happy, it turns people off. I didn't been too happy at my job, and my coworkers didn't like, well, ain't nobody that happy all the time. So I had to learn how to manage that, right? That's number one. Identify your emotional state, right? So like now, what's my emotional state? My emotional state now is pretty high because I'm doing what I love, teaching, right? So when I'm able to teach and do things that, my emotional state is high, right? So if I'm not feeling well, find somebody to teach, right? Okay. Number two, seek to understand, right? So this is something that I learned in some sales training course. Seek to understand before you understood, because I don't know what that person going through, right? They could have just lost their spouse. They could have just lost their parents. They could have just lost their child, right? They could have just got fired, right? Those are some extreme things, right? Or they could have just won the lottery, right? So I'm going like, what the heck is this person so happy about, right? And I'm the salesman. I'm coming there and I'm not happy because I can't pay my bills. And this person all happy. And I'm like, what are they? So seek to understand before you understood, right? I'm telling you, that's a game changer. In all relationships, seek to understand, because you don't know what someone's going through. People are going through it, right? And as far as I'm concerned, a lot of it is self-inflicted, but it is what it is. Number three, focus on relationships, right? Everything is about relationship, right? Hate to get biblical on you, but the word man, ish, the Hebrew word ish, is about relationships. So your relationship with your God, then your relationship with your woman, your relationship with your children, then your relationship with your community. So the bigger and better and the stronger your relationship, or the more masculine you are, right? So it has nothing to do with social economic standing, right? That's that American society that we live in. We, looking at social economic, little old weenie looking guy, Bill Gates, we think he's the biggest dude in the world, right? The most masculine man in the world, based upon that standard. But based upon God's standard, it's relationships, right? The better your relationship with your creator, the better your relationship is with your woman, with your children, with your community, the more masculine you are. It's all about relationships, right? So, number one, assessment, see what your emotion is, what your emotional state is. Be aware of that from from moment to moment, live in the moment, right? Seek to understand, right? So I'm not trying to make you understand me. I want to understand you, right? So I developed a practice in my sales process that the client, when you engage with me, you have an hour and a half, right? You get an hour and a half of time. I only need 15 to 20 minutes to tell you why I'm there, right? So all that time you can talk about whatever you want to. You can talk about the children. You can talk about the job. You can talk about whatever. I'm just gonna listen, right? Right? Because when I have to say what I have to say, it ain't gonna take me no more than 10, 15 minutes to let you know. And then I got all the information I need from you to help you, right? So seek to understand, focus on relationships, right? Build relationship. I consider my clients my family, right? So once let me tell you how my clients are the ones that have paid, right? So you have bought my services, you have bought my products. Yeah, you can now have access to me, right? All the knowledge that I have is at your disposal, right? But if you don't pay, you're not my family, you're not my client, right? And you don't get that family treatment, right? So emotional intelligence, right? Get the book. I don't know how much this says. It's $24.99. Probably it went down since then. They probably sold so many of them, right? Amazon. This is the hard copy, right? So check it out. It's a whole. You can take an assessment. It gives you strategies how to improve your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a concept, right? So now we're looking at your intellect, right? And we're looking at your emotional, right? So intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence, that's what creates your personality, right? If you want a winning and pleasing personality, that's what's missing, right? We know you're intelligent, right? We live in the most intelligent society ever existed with Google, right? You think you're a scholar. Well, just Google it. So, but that emotional piece is missing. Personality is a little warped, right? So emotional intelligence is critical. It will improve your earnings, your performance on a job, and when the boss is looking to promote someone and they doing it from a fair perspective, no nepotism, no sexism, none of that stuff, they're gonna look for the guy or the gal that has the highest emotional intelligence, right? I'm trying to say I didn't know about it, and so but we had a high quotient of it when we was working in corporate America, right? And we were able, to excel in that environment. And then when I came into the world of self-employment and business and selling and things of that nature, right? And it was like, wow, you're such a nice guy. You're so charismatic. You're so well spoken and this and that. And wasn't making no sales. Wasn't making no sales, right? Yeah. Emotional intelligence was missing because why was I not making any sales? Because what I would do, I would go into one sales scenario and the people would say no, and then I would carry that negative emotion forward, right? Until I learned that you got to be like a world-class athlete, right? You got to have a very short memory. Soon as they lose game one, and they know they got to play, they got blew out game one. They got to forget. I'm talking about demolished by that team. Game two, that's history, not in my mind anymore, right? I got to get and perform at the next game, right? So, but with no emotional intelligence, I would have 5 to 7 appointments scheduled a day. I'm doing all the work. I'm working hard and then would not make a sale. And I was about to get out of professional selling. And I talked to my mentor and he was like, you don't know what you're doing. You're doing all the other fundamentals, your marketing, your scheduling appointments. Something is missing, so we had to fix it, right? And I'm glad I had a mentor and was able to fix that, right? So because being charismatic, being well spoken, being a poet, and your wordsmith and all that crap, no, that does not create sales, right? And so when I develop, you get an hour and a half of my time, and I let you talk 90% of the time, and the rest I would talk. That helps, right? Because people are like, well, I don't know about this cat. He's saying all the right things. He's talking slick. He's talking fast. They don't trust you, right? So these are the things. Emotional, intelligent people, right? So we went from zero to hero, right? In my professional sales career, right? You can do it in any person. You can do it in a relationship, right? People who want a relationship. I don't know if they in vogue today or what. I don't know. I'm not in that game. But whatever you want, right? You need emotional intelligence because it will make your personality more pleasing, right? You want a pleasing personality, work on these factors. Be aware, self-aware, right? I'm a hothead. I fly off the handle easy. I need to change that, right? I need to manage that, right? What triggers me? I need to identify my triggers, right? So I learned all this stuff in sales. I didn't know what was happening with emotional intelligence. We used to have these things, these triggers, right? When I walked through the door, the arch of the door was a trigger. It was to trigger me to get into my sales mode, right? When I sit down at the table, get it, triggers, things that triggered me in a very positive way, right? So emotional intelligence is what's happening. Okay, cool. Johnson, Wiggins Johnson. Yeah. Please get that book. It's been a blessing to me. So I think that's all we have today. We wanted to share emotional intelligence. It'll help you increase your financial reality, right? It will help you increase your relationships, right? Because if you're going to build some wealth, it's going to take 20, 25, 30 years. And when you develop an investment strategy, whether it's investing your ability to earn income, investing in real estate, investing in the stock market, whatever you want to invest in, you're going to have to stay the long haul, right? It's going to take some emotional intelligence to have stick-to-itiveness. Hey, people, appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, comment. JoshuaPondexter.com. We're doing consultations. Holla at your boy. All right, bye for now.